Good morning, students. This is our third part of the chapter, The Making of a Global World for class 10th. Earlier, we have discussed about all about the pre-modern world. Then we have talked about the Silk routes and the importance of Silk routes in the worldwide globalization in terms of trade. Then we have talked about the how the food travels with a variety of names. Then we have discussed the conquest, disease, and the trade. And then that about the 19th century, that how the trade flourished with the silk routes, then how the world economy takes its shapes, we all have discussed. Now in part third we are continuing the same thing, that how the economy enhanced in the European state, how the people migrated from Europe to America, as America was the richest place after the invention, after discovery. Then how the resources has been utilized by the European nation after invading the America. Now we are continuing that by 1890 a global agricultural economy had taken place, especially the primary sector. That agricultural economy enhanced so much and it has transformed also. Agricultural sector advanced with the technology, and how the technology helped in the agricultural field to produce more and more beneficial crops which are in a great demand around the world, and it shapes the capital flows, the technology, how it has been done, all about it. Now that some of this dramatic changes, though on a smaller scale, occurred closer home in West Punjab. Here, the British Indian government built a network of irrigation. That when we say that globalization, the transformation in economy around the world, then we also see that the West Punjab also influenced by this. That the West Punjab that time under the British rule, and the British also developed their irrigation canals to transform semi desert wastes into fertile agricultural land. That the British, we know that how the British people are so much conscious to enhance their economy, so they also tried that the waste land which was known as semi desert area, they also want to transform this piece of land into agricultural land, so that more and more production, more and more agricultural production should be there. So they introduced the canal irrigation canal system in the West Punjab. The canal colonies, as the area irrigated by the new canals were called, there were settled by the peasant. These areas were settled by the peasants from other parts of Punjab. Now these areas were settled especially by the peasants, and they were used to work as a irrigation employee and the agriculturist in these particular area of West Punjab, which was remain under cultivation, remain isolated as a semi desert area, but it was also get into the touch with the agricultural techniques to boost up the economy of British people. So before it that how the economy taken shapes, that by the 1890 it was accompanied by the complex changes in labor movement patterns, capital flows, ecologies, and technology. Food no longer came from a nearby village. That when there was a transformation in global economy, now the communication means and the transportation means also increased, and now the food is not only taken or reached from village to village or village to town, but now the items which was made of agricultural products, they were traveling thousands of miles away. It was not given by grown by a peasant tilling his own land, but by an agricultural worker. Now the small peasant and farmer change into the agricultural workers, and now the trade has crossed all the boundaries from one country to another, and a global economy takes its shape as the means of transportation also developed. You can see that railway network built for the very purpose, and by ships which were increasingly manned in these decades by low paid workers from southern Europe. Now the ship was also overloaded by the thousands of people who were worked in the ships, and it was included the Southern Europe, Asia, Africa and Caribbean area, where the workers were also loaded in the big ships as a labor and to transport the goods and services from one place to another. Now that we have talked about the West Punjab, that of course the food is merely an example. Yes, when we are talking about that how the globalization, how the world economy transform, that of course food is a one example of product. A similar story can be told for cotton, the cultivation of which expanded worldwide to feed British textile mills. That at the same time, that after the food, the different sort of crops like cotton was also expanded. The British also forced the Indian peasants to produce more and more cotton as a raw material because it was in great demand to supply in Manchester in England the British textile. So whatever clothes they were making, the raw material in form of cotton was transported by India to the European nation. Now after it, rubber. Indeed, so rapidly did regional specialization in the production of commodities develop that between 1820 to 1914, world trade is estimated to have multiplied. It was so that after it, the rubber, cotton, wheat, and these crops were produced in a large number that by 1820 to 1914, world trade is not only multiply one time, but it was estimated to multiply 25 to 40 times. Now you can imagine that what a great boom was there in world's economy, how the world economy has transformed in a developing path, that it has increased 25 to 40%. Nearly 60% of this trade comprised primary product, and among this trade 60% credit goes to the primary products, which was based on the raw material of agricultural product, that is agricultural products such as wheat and cotton, and the minerals such as coal is also important, that it has produced to generate the electricity to use as a fuel in the variety of ways as an energy resource. So in this manner, that the world economy transformed. Now when we are saying that world economy by the 19th century, world economy and the means of transportation like railway or the sea routes, in terms of big cargo ships, they have developed. Refrigerated fridge also developed. So what is the role of technology to enhance the, you can say, trade in worldwide? What was the role of technology in all this? Now the railways, steamships and the telegraph, for example, were important inventions without which we cannot imagine the transformed 19th century world. That up to the 19th century, whatever development has held in economical way or in communication way or in the transporting manners way, we cannot imagine that without the help of technology they can be. But technological advances were often the result of larger social, political, and economical factors. For example, colonization stimulated new investment and improvements in transport. That whatever changes was held in terms of social changes, political and economical changes, the credit goes to all the factors, whether it was social, political, or economical, as under the colonization, under the colonial rule, that what had happened, that colonization improved the railway network, transportation means faster railways and lighter wagons and large ship helped to move food from more cheaply and quickly from far away farms to the final market. That with the help of technology, now the food can travel from one place to the distant part of the world with the cheap amount of cost very efficiently. Now the another significant point, that when we talk about the trade flourished up to the 19th century, the trade in meat offers a good example of this connected process. That earlier we were talking about trade of wheat, trade of cotton, rubber, but now The trade of meat also was a good and finest example which involved the technological advancement. That till the 1870s, animals were shipped live from America to Europe. That up to the 1817, the animals which should be used for the eating purposes, they were taken as a live form. They all were alive and they brought from America to Europe. Then and then after that, reaching the destined point, they were slaughtered when they arrived there. But live animals took up a lot of ship's space. Many also died in voyages, fell ill, lost weight, or became unfit to eat. Meanwhile, hence an expensive luxury beyond the reach of the European poor. That what had happened, that earlier the animals were shipped lively into the ship from America to Europe, and then they get slaughtered. But during the long voyages, during the long journey by the sea route, they became sometime ill, they lost their weight and unfit. They became ultimately unfit to eat. So, meat was an expensive food item for the poor people of Europe. High prices in turn kept demand and namely refrigerator and production down until the development of a new technology. But when the new technology arises and it was refrigerator ships was introduced, then it become possible that now the meat can be transported with the cheaper rate, and now the poor can also afford it. How it was possible? That now animals were slaughtered for the food at the starting point. Now the dead animals used to be kept in the ship, and then they reached their final destination and they kept into the refrigerator, it means fridge, America, Australia or New Zealand, and then transported to Europe as a frozen meat. Now they were not alive animals who are reaching at certain point and then they are slaughtered. They are slaughtered at the starting of the journey and then they kept as a frozen meat in the refrigerator which were used in the advanced ship. This reduced shipping cost also and lowered meat prices in Europe. The poor in Europe could now consume the meat, variety of meat, and to the earlier monotony of bread and potatoes. Now, the poor people can also afford the meat with their basic meal like bread and potato. Earlier, the poor people in Europe used to eat bread and potato, but now they are also having the variety in terms of non-vegetarian dish, and it became only possible after the advancement of technology. So it was all about the role of technology in the modernization of economy in Europe. Now, what is the scene of late 19th century and colonialism? That it is though up to the mid of the 19th century there was so much of advancement, economy also increased around the world in the European state. Now, what had happened in late 19th century? That in late 19th century trade flourished and markets expanded in the late 19th century. But this was not only a period of expanding trade and increased prosperity. It is important to realize that there was a darker side of this process. In many parts of the world, the expansion of trade and a closer relationship with the world economy also meant a loss of freedom and livelihoods. Yes, that always there is always the other side of the coin, that although there was so much of luxury comforts has developed when the technology advancement is used in the trades, but on the other hand at the same time in many parts of the world, just because of the expansion of trade, there was a closer relationship has been developed in terms of world economy, and there the so much of loss of freedom and livelihood was held. Late 19th century European conquest produced many painful economic, social, and ecological changes. As they were overgrazing their pasture, they are uh, transforming the piece of land into agricultural field. They are cutting forest. So all this results into the great damage of environment and great damage of the poor people livelihood, who used to chop the woods from the village forest area. So there's so much of drawbacks also at the same time up to the late 19th century. Now that when we say what were the adverse effect of the late 19th century of worldwide enhancement in economy, that Britain and France, the both country made vast addition to their overseas territories in the late 19th century. The Britain and France also tried to expand their territories, overseas territory, to flourish their trade or the power. Now Belgium and Germany became new colonial power. In the same time, Belgium and Germany emerged as a single independent colonial power. The US also became a colonial power. At the same time, um, US also emerged as a colonial power independently in late 1890 by taking over some colonies earlier held by Spain. And US also captured some territories from Spain, where before Spain was having its own territory. Now let us look at one example of the destructive impact of colonialism on the economy and livelihoods of the colonized people. So these are the middle question that now you are going to study, that how you can say that there was a destructive impact of colonialism on the economy and the livelihoods of colonized people. So we are going to explain it now. In the next video we will explain it. So in this chapter you have understood that how the world economy takes its shape, what was the role of technology, and what was the late 19th century colonialism. And now we are talking about one more important thing, rinderpest or the cattle plague. That when we are saying that what were the adverse effect of the this flourished trade and commerce around the world, then adverse effect we will start from rinderpest or the cattle plague. That you just because that meat prices decreased, so it has been consumed by the variety of people in a large number, then how it has become a disease and how the people get affected, we are going to explain it. In Africa in 1890s, a fast spreading disease of cattle plague or rinderpest had a terrifying impact on the people's livelihood and the local economy. This is a good example of the widespread European imperial impact on colonized society. It shows that how in this area, in this era of conquest, even a disease affecting cattle reshaped the lives and fortune of the thousands of people and their relation with the rest of the world. Yes, this is the thing which you have to understood, that although we are talking about the great impact of uh, colonization and the technology in advancement of economy around the world, there was so much of money. Now the poor can also afford the variety of and the good life, but how at the same time the one disease among the animal became a cause of ruin of lives and the fortune of thousands of people. And in Europe, and not only Europe, that how the other part of the European country or the how the other part of the world get affected by this disease, which was known as a rinderpest. It was a terrifying cattle disease in the 1890 in European area. Now that historically Africa had abundant land and relatively small population. If we trace the history, then we find that Africa was a country which was having unlimited variety of resources and the population is very less. For centuries, Land and livestock sustained African livelihood, and people rarely worked for a wage. Important that for century Africa was so rich in terms of its own resources, and the population is very low, that for thousands of years there was uh, no people who has to worried about to earn their wages, as there were plenty of resources and they enjoying their life. In late 19th century Africa, there were few consumer goods that wages could buy. If you had been an African processing land and livestock, and there was plenty of both, you too would have seen little reason to work for a wage. Now you can understand that the people of Africa having the livestock of the resources, that even generation to generation they were not bothered to work for to earn their livelihood or to work as a getting wages. So it was a story of Africa, that how rich they were in terms of their resources. Now, in the late 19th century, Europeans were attracted to Africa. Then again, as Europeans were attracted to America after its discovery, and how they consumed all the resources of America. In the same way, after getting information about the Africa and its resources, the European powers again attracted towards the mineral and the land resources of Africa. And now, what they have done? Europeans came to Africa hoping to establish plantation and mines to produce crops and minerals for export to Europe. But there was an unexpected problem, a shortage of labor willing to work for wages. Now the European, when they reached Africa and they want to use the land as an agricultural field, and they wanted to consume as much as possible the minerals resources, then again there was a great problem, that no African people was ready or willingly to do work to earn wages, as they were having plenty of resources in their own. So it was again a challenge in front of European power. So what they have done? Now the employers used many methods to recruit and retain labor. Heavy taxes were imposed, which could be paid only by working for wages on plantation and mines. But after occupying the Africa, some part of Africa, now the European power imposed heavy taxes on them, and so much heavy taxes that without doing work, these African people cannot pay their taxes, and for wages they have to work in plantation and mines. Now inheritance laws were changed so that peasants were displaced from land. Now, American, European power also introduced the new inheritance law. They have changed the inheritance law, and now that under the inheritance law, that the land and the property which was used African generation forefather, it is automatically given to the upcoming generation. So it was also changed by the European power, that now there was no personal property rule. Inheritance rule of property has been changed. Now they were not, the upcoming generation or the current generation was not having their own right, individual right in their forefathers property in terms of land or other property. Only one member of a family was allowed to inherit land, as a result of which the others were pushed into the labor market. And the result of it, that in a family there are 4 or 3 members, now only one will be having the inherited land, and the other remaining all the members of a family pushed automatically, they were pushed into the labor market and they have to work. And in such a way the European get victory to overcome from the shortage of labor in Africa. Now, mine workers were also confined in compounds and not allowed to move about freely. And now the European power started their exploitation of African people, that they ban their freedom. The workers cannot be moved from one place to another during their working hours. They have to be settled in their compounds. Now, then came Rinderpest, a devastating cattle disease, and after that, epidemic. you can say a disease which became an epidemic has arrived. Rinderpest arrived in Africa in the late 1880s. Where this disease has arrived in 1880s in Africa. It was carried by infected cattle imported from British Asia to feed the Italian soldier invading Eritrea in East Africa. Entering Africa in the east, rinderpest moved west like forest fire, reaching Africa's Atlantic coast in 1892. It reached the Cape Africa's southernmost of 5 years later. Along the way, rinderpest killed 90% of the cattle. So you can see that it is the time in 1880s when the rinderpest disease in the cattle reached in Africa, and it was carried infected. It was carried by how it has carried by infected cattle which was imported from British Asia to feed the Italian soldier. It was carried from British Asia to feed the Italian soldier and who were invading Eurasia and East Africa. When this disease entered in Africa East, then it just moved like a fire and like a fire in a forest, and it's reached Africa's Atlantic Ocean coast in 1892 because it was an infectional disease. It reached the Cape 5 years later, and along the way, rinderpest killed 90% of the cattle. And not only this, it has killed during this time, it has killed 90% of the cattle in these areas. Now, the loss of cattle destroy African livelihoods. Now, the scene has been totally transformed. That up to the 19th century, Africa was having abundant resources. That there was no African was ready to earn their livelihood as they were having sufficient money and resources. But after 1892, the scene has changed totally. Now the same country is having all its resources destroyed by the rinderpest, and the loss of cattle destroy African livelihoods. Now these African have to suffer to earn their livelihoods. Planters, mine owners, and colonial governments now successfully monopolized what scarce cattle resources remain to strengthen their power and to force Africans into the labor market. Control over the scarce resources of cattle enabled European colonizers to conquer and subdue Africa. And all this situation give a great opportunity to the European power that they establish their autocratic rule in Africa. Similar story can be told about the impact of Western conquest on the other parts of the 19th century world. So it was all about in this video that we have discussed. In next video we will continue the chapter. Till then, continue your homework, complete your homework, be regular in all subjects homework so that you will mark present and you will engage yourself in continuous study. Thank you.